Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Inside Berm. It is Wednesday, the 14th, here in Oklahoma City. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. This is the second edition of the 2024 season for Inside Berm. I am your host, Mr. Monstar Pro himself, Jake Keel, and this show is brought to you by our great sponsors. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Jake's Dad Carbs, 405-640-6862. Get some great micro sprint carburetors from Jake's Dad Carbs. Spinebuster brand, be on the lookout. We have a huge announcement coming up very soon about Spinebuster brand and their branch into Motorsports. You're not going to want to miss this t-shirt drop, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be some really great merch coming out of the Spinebuster brand area. So go like them on Facebook and make sure you are ready to see all of that. And finally, Victory Fuel coming on board. Your daily dose of vitamins, electrolytes. They're kid-friendly, low sugar with caffeine-free with no artificial coloring. We know how important that is right now. No artificial coloring. It's been known to create some crazy things going on in your body. So grab some Victory Fuel and fuel your day. Man, we're full on in race season. We are full on in race season, and sprint cars have been on the track now a week. We've got USAC running. We've got late models have been going. Do late models ever stop? That's my question. I don't think late models ever stop. I don't think there's an off season for the late models, but I'm mostly a sprint car guy. If you want to hear me talk about late models and such, I will try to catch more late models this year. They've absolutely been interesting me a lot more over here, but 410 season's in full swing. We've got the USAC National Sprint Cars have opened up their season. Justin Grant picking up the first two wins over at Ocala, And one of them, my man Brady Bacon, getting the defeat snatched from the hands of victory. And man, it was a rough night for Brady Bacon, spinning out after Justin Grant gets sideways and causing the caution. And man, tough break for him. But then we moved on to the World of Outlaws. The World of Outlaws started their week over in Volusia, and it's exciting that we've got this all going. Bill Harrell, I knew you would want me to do more body stuff. I knew you would want me to do more fender stuff. It's great to have you watching, Bill. Maybe one day we'll make a sprint car fan out of you. I know you make your money off of fender cars and stuff, but I'd love to get you some advertising, wink wink, on this show. But let's talk a little bit. But the World of Outlaws started their Gator Nationals and by now have finished, and it was a crazy week. Justin, I know that you love your full body cars and everything. There will be talk about more modified stuff too as it starts going. I don't get the chance to watch all the races that I want to watch. But whenever sprint cars are on, I can't miss them. Sprint cars are what I was raised on. Over at the city in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds, and excuse me, but the racing there was mainly sprint cars, sprint car oriented, and then we'd follow the World of Outlaws. And I was into NASCAR. I'm starting to get back into NASCAR. We'll talk a little bit about NASCAR on this show, but especially with the Daytona 500 coming this weekend. But tumble buggies, sometimes I can't stand the things that you guys, you fender boys say about my sprint cars. But let's get back on it. The World of Outlaws had the Gator Nationals this week, and man, 4 races, 4 different winners, and it was surprising. You got a bunch of guys that were doing well this week at the World of Outlaws that aren't running the full schedule with the Outlaws. And I've got the points pulled up right now. David Gravel, the most consistent person out of the whole week, with 4 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and a win. And he pulled off the big Gator this week for the World of Outlaw sprint cars. Gio Scelzi had a really good week. No win, but he was right there with Gravel having a really consistent week. So a great start for Gio. Gio Scelzi could be one of those dark horses to go and win the World of Outlaws championship. He's that good. It came to no surprise that the first night of the week, the first race of the week, Brad Sweet pulled off the win. He's great. He's going to be great. He had a great showing with the High Limit series. It was just, it was really good to see Brad Sweet. He hasn't missed a beat, and I wasn't sure if he was going to run any Outlaw shows this year, being that he is the owner of the other series. But it was really great to see that. Tyler Courtney had the race of the week over in the World of Outlaws, picking up the win on the last corner due to Rico making a slight miscalculation there. I feel it for Rico. I love Rico, but hey, Sunshine Tyler Courtney is one of my favorite drivers in modern day sprint car racing. So hats off to him for pulling that off. That was great. And then somebody who picked up a win but didn't have a good week. Sheldon Haudenschild, 14th in points right now, despite picking up a win. But that was his only top 10 of the week. Only top 5 and top 10 of the week was picking up that victory. Not a good start for Sheldon. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes. We'll see where you can only go up from here. And a lot of these guys in front of him are not going to be running the full schedule. They're not going to be sticking to the points, especially Brad Sweet, Tyler Courtney, Rico. They're all full time with the High Limit series. Anthony Macri, Brent Marks, Brian Brown, Justin Peck, they all had good weeks up there, but it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys. Buddy Kofoid did not have a good week. He had 2 top 10s and a top 5, which sounds good out of 4 races, but he may have blown up 2 motors in the process, and them running that Toyota deal, they got to be careful because that's costly. Whenever you're only 4 races in, you've already blown up 2 motors. That's bad. That's bad news. So let's hope they get that figured out. I'm not going to stick on stats the whole race, guys. Or the whole day. So let's move over to the high limits. Some really good takeaways this week. There was 2 winners, and we ended up having both A mains run in the same day, which didn't cause an effect on racing like I thought it would. Usually whenever you have those makeup features, it really hurts the racing for the second feature, but it really didn't. That second feature was just as good as the first one. No surprise, Kyle Larson started up front for the first one and won. You got to give it to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is the man on dirt. He's the man behind a wheel. You give him 4 tires and a wheel and he's going to win. So, to no surprise, he picked up an early win. But the big surprise was in the second feature. Kyle kind of couldn't get out of his own way, and it's been very interesting this season, especially with the Chili Bowl. Kyle is showing signs that he's human, and it's very interesting to see that this early on because there have been times in the past where we're wondering if he's human, and he's kind of shown it to us right now. I mean, it's been an interesting it was an interesting night. Let's just put it that way. If y'all don't know, High Limit was supposed to start on Monday. It got rained out after the heats had concluded. So they were in the C, the B, the dash, and the A feature on Tuesday before the second show. And we're seeing some people that are going to be a factor this year already this weekend. Corey Day. Can we just talk about Corey Day? Corey Day looked like he had been on a national tour his entire life. He looks like he's been out there with these guys for years, and they're calling him the next Kyle Larson. I'm not surprised watching him this last week, watching him at the Chili Bowl. That kid has no fear. He has no fear. He's a young guy, and I hope for him that his career keeps going this way. I'm just saying, put Corey Day on your radar if you haven't already. That is a man that is either going to take over sprint car racing in the next couple of years, or he will be in NASCAR. I'm putting that down right now. Corey Day is the future of motorsports right now. Brad Sweet had a good weekend, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, no wins. Shows that, hey, this is not going to be a given for Brad Sweet. I mean, he's one of the owners, and there's a lot of talk about, like, hey, he's one of the owners. Is he going to get special treatment? No, did not. Did not all weekend. Let's talk about Tyler Courtney. Tyler Courtney is going to be a problem for the rest of the high limit racers this year. I think he's going to return to his championship form from the All-Stars this Saturday, sorry, I keep on, racing is usually on the weekend. And for me, Tuesday night, he had every chance to lose that race. Everybody, I mean, there was a time where you could put a blanket over the top 5 and they were all running for the lead. It was one of the best features, running up front that I've seen in a while. But Sunshine, he's going to be a problem. He picked up that win. He got passed multiple times for the lead and just kept on going. Just kept on digging, did not give up his line, and ended up picking up the win. Kyle Larson, like I said, picked up the other win in the night. Here's someone that kind of surprised me, though, and I didn't know how to bet on him this year, but Tanner Thorson. Tanner Thorson had a good weekend. He had a top 5, a top 10, was battling for the win, but after he was battling for that first feature, it almost seemed like he forgot how to drive a race car. And I love Tanner Thorson. He's one of my favorites right now. He just seemed out of his own head for the second part of the show. Hopefully that's just, maybe an issue with the car or, something. He's sitting 5th in points after 2 events. So, we're not hitting the panic button yet. But it was interesting. It was interesting seeing, what all went on there with his second run of the day. Another guy I'm betting on right now, Parker Price Miller. He's going to be a problem for the high limit drivers this year. That kid had that car on rails yesterday. So did Rico Abreu. Both of those guys are going to be problems for the high limits, and they're going to be contending for this championship. I'm excited. I'm excited for all of it. Man, I like the format. Let's talk about this format. They have the qualifying groups. They have the non-qualifiers. I guess you could call it a feature, a heat race where they basically get put onto the back of the heat races. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out the more we go. I don't think we're going to see any tweaking on it this year, but we might see some tweaking on that next year. I don't know. I like it, but I don't know if I like it enough to say, hey, let's reinvent the wheel on race format. I mean, we've done this for years and years and years of qualifying heat races dash features. I mean, I don't understand why we need to run extra laps for these guys that were at the bottom of the qualifying lists when they're just going to go to the back of the heat race. So, I don't really, like I said, I like being able to see these guys a little bit more, but I don't necessarily think we need it. Um, it was a tough weekend for tough couple nights for Justin Peck. Justin Peck looked very strong in the first feature, and then got in a problem with a lap car. I believe it was Chris Windham, and I don't know. Just the rest of the night, he was not. He just didn't look like he had much for it. So, Justin Peck is one of those guys that I think is going to do really well this year, and I hope he does. Especially with the number 13 team, that team has been proven to be fast in the past. Yeah, exactly, Justin. That's why they have the B's and the C's. I don't know, man. They have this non-qualifier. They have this non-qualifier race, and before the heat races, then they get added back to the back of the heat races, and then most of those guys ended up in the C or the B. So I don't really know what the benefit of having it is, but the more I watch it, the more I might understand. We're still early in the season, and maybe it's something that they can add to it. Brock, I 100% agree with you on this. We have these provisionals that are in place for high limit runners, and I understand why they're there, because these guys committed to a full schedule. They're running for points, and they only have 3 of them. Thank God, they only have 3 of them. I think the Outlaws only allows 2. It may be more, but last time I checked, it was 2. Provisionals, I feel, take away. Like you said, it hurts the guys that are consistent in the qualifying and the heats. But I also see the benefit of it. It saves somebody's night whenever, they may have had a problem early on that was out of their hands. But that's also racing. So if you want to run for points, you got to be consistent. So that's why that's where I'm at with the provisionals. Chase Vineyard, I am not going to put that up on here. Yeah. So let's talk about the discourse, the animosity, it seems, that is growing between these two series. The Outlaws, let's put it this way. The Outlaws are going to continue doing what they're doing, and they're going to treat the high limits as if they don't exist. I mean, there's no benefit for them to really go after the high limit series and be like, that's them and they're our rivals. They're going to continue like nothing has changed. On the other hand, I think it benefits High Limit to kind of go after the Outlaws a little bit. I think it benefits them to really, try to make it as much of a rivalry as possible and make it, hey, our guys came in and kicked your ass. And that did happen a few of those nights during the Gator Nationals. There was a couple nights that their guys went and filled the podium. So it's interesting to see, how that's going to continue. But I think the Outlaws need to ignore what's happening over there with the high limit guys. I mean, out of 4 races, 2 of those 4 were won by high limit drivers. Exactly, Jace. High limits is going to be the Lucas Oil Nash late models. The Outlaws are going to continue to be the Outlaws. There's no reason why these 2 series can't coexist. There is a lot of money there's a lot of money that is to be made here by all the drivers involved. And that's the glory of this. And from a fan perspective, it is more racing that we are able to have around here, and especially more 410 sprint car racing that especially the Oklahoma region has been starved for. Brock, I don't know. The Outlaws are going to have to change a little bit. Number one, they're going to have to lower the price of Dirt Vision. Dirt Vision, for the price that Dirt Vision is versus what kind of content you get on Dirt Vision, you're not getting what you're paying for. So I think we're going to have to see what's going to happen, but I would really like for both series to continue to coexist, and it just benefits the drivers and it benefits the fans. There's more racing, there's more money to be made by the drivers, more sponsorship money to be had, because there's more cameras on sprint car racing than ever. And it gives us, the fans, what we want. It gives, the drivers, like I said, more chances to make the money. It's a win-win for everybody. And and this is why I bring it up, because I saw fans posting about tribalism in racing. If you don't know what tribalism means, it's rivalries. You think that, the world of Outlaws are the best and High Limit can suck it, No. Enjoy both. Try to enjoy both. If you don't want to watch one of them, you don't have to, but don't hurt the series by saying that they're bad. It can only benefit us. And it's more racing than we get to watch. So I don't know about you guys, but I could watch a sprint car race every night of the week. I could watch late model race every night of the week. I watched asphalt late models for the first time on TV the other night. And I enjoyed it. I really did. 150 laps at Florence Speedway for the Icebreakers. It was great. It was fantastic. Flow racing is giving me that opportunity. Dirt Vision is not. And I'm excited to see what goes on there. I want to see if the High Limit makes the Outlaws change any. Lucy, it's great to hear from you. Oh, it's Jim. Sorry. Jim Farley, I agree with you about the High Limit format. It is better than Woo. Being an ex-World of Outlaws official from 2006 to 2012, we always inverted for better racing, in my opinion. Thank you, Jim. It's always great to hear from you, Jim. I hope I get to see you at the races this year. Are you going to be back at Knoxville, or are y'all fully retired now? If you can, comment and we'll see. I don't know. The jury's out on the format for me. And it may just be because it's so different than what I've been used to. And well, like I said, it's only going to take time to figure out what this non-qualifier race is going to help with us. And I'll dive into the rules and make sure that I understand it fully. But right now, I don't understand who's benefiting from the non-qualifiers race that everyone is going to eventually be able to race anyway. So but we'll see. We'll see as it goes. Streaming, Justin, the Knoxville Nationals, Knoxville Raceway is a Dirt Vision track. Weekly racing is done on Dirt Vision. The Knoxville Nationals will always be on Dirt Vision as long as that deal is in place. Now, if the Outlaws were to go away, if theoretically the Outlaws get bought out, I don't think the Outlaws will ever go away. World of Outlaws, they've been around forever. It's going to take someone buying the series and saying, no, this is done for the World of Outlaws to go away. What I think could happen is eventually Kyle Larson buys the World of Outlaws and merges them with High Limit, and it just becomes the World of Outlaws. But it will always be on Dirt Vision as long as Dirt Vision has that contract in place. Obviously, that contract can go away. I don't know whenever it's up, but the World of Outlaws sanctions the Knoxville Nationals. It is not a points race, but they do use World of Outlaws rules, if I'm not mistaken. At least they used to. And yeah, so that's what I got about that. Tom Hahn, thank you for joining us, Tom. I'm glad to see you on here. Got a lot of respect for you and your son and your whole family, honestly. But High Limits is impressive so far. They had 2 really good nights of racing. The production was great. I love the idea of us getting to know the racers a little bit better through their music tastes. But it's still early in the run, and I'm hoping that everything just gets better from here. The last 2 nights of racing have been really good. Outside the box thinking is always good. Trying new things. I do agree with you there, Tom. We wouldn't be where we are now with outside the box thinking. So, I'm excited to see how this grows. It's like I was watching this video earlier with Mike Skinner. He was talking about the first year of Craftsman Truck Series and how when they started the season, the rule book was this big. When they ended the season, the rule book was this big. Because of outside the box thinking. And we're still very early. These were only the 12th and 13th race that High Limit has ever put on, and the first of actually having a full on point season. So, I will pass judgment on the format until I see it a lot more. I just want full understanding, and I'm actually trying to find the rule book right now for High Limit so I can get the full breakdown on it. If anyone can send me that if you have it, that would be great. But I'm excited to see what's going on. But back to the issue here is we as fans should be excited. I understand being faithful to the series that you've been a fan of your entire life, for the past 40 years. But there's more racing. There's more stars, and we're in a time where sprint car racing top to bottom is its most competitive. There were times in the Outlaws in the 90s and the 80s that we had legends on the track. And I'm not detracting from those legends. We had Steve Kinzer. I mean, come on. We had Sammy Swindell. We had Dave Blaney. We had all these guys that were fantastic, legendary drivers. But right now, from top to bottom, there are guys out there that could win on any given night that finished in the B feature the night before. And it's such a strong field of cars, and I know I'm going to be supporting both. So like Tom Hahn says, you can support both, and they will be supporting both series. And I wish you and Blake good luck on your 410 season. Tom, I'd love to have you on the show and pick your brain about racing and everything, and do a little storytelling and stuff, but racing, sprint car racing is at its best right now that we've seen in a long time. And I'm hoping that people start to realize that before this is gone. I mean, a lot of these guys that are racing right now are not going to be racing in the World of Outlaws or the High Limit Series in a while. They're going to be up. They're going to be snatched up by NASCAR. They're going to be snatched up by IndyCar. This is going to be a time where we look back and it's like, gosh, we really had some of the best drivers, top to bottom. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of 2024 goes. I've only gotten a taste, and I'm excited. The Daytona 500 this weekend. You're going to have just as much dirt racing as there is asphalt racing going this year, and you can watch it on Flow Racing on Dirt Vision. Start to finish is new out there, and I'm just excited to get everything going. That's going to be it for today. I know it's a short episode, but that's just where we're at right now. I do have a project I'm working on. I'm going to do the math, and I'm going to do the math on everything, and we're going to see what sprint car racing would have been like if Steve Kinser had succeeded in NASCAR. I'm going to go in and see who would have been our champions, who would have won a lot of races, and it's going to be a very simple thing. I'm going to just subtract Steve Kinser from the equation and see who would have won all those races. So, guys, thank you for joining me. We had a great viewership. We had a lot of comments today, and I'm really excited about that. I love all of you. Thank you for supporting me, and I'm going to have new ways that you can support me starting next week. But thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.